everyone, my name is Richie and welcome back to another video. Today join me on the Bakerloo Line because today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. If you've seen that I've done these before and after videos before, you'll know that I look at routes that are being updated or remastered or whatever, and I look at the before version and then after they get updated. Well, the Bakerloo Line itself hasn't had an update. However, the overground section of it is obviously been upgraded to TOD 4 and whatever else in the West Coast mainline route. So I thought in light of that, let's jump into the old Bakerloo Line, do an overground section run between Harrow and Queen's Park, and then jump into West Coast mainline and compare the two. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to have a look, we're going to do a before versus after on the Bakerloo Line. So let's do it. So today I've jumped into a 1972 stock here just north of Harrow and Willesden, and we're going to take it down towards Queen's Park. I'm hopefully going to do relatively the same service in the before versus after section, but obviously the West Coast mainline timetable is a little bit different. So yeah, let's jump into it and let's get to Queen's Park. Right, so let's get ourselves set up. I need to turn the control key, is that what it's called? Yeah, put that into on. Beautiful, clunk. And then we need to put this into forwards. Where's that? Forwards. Hold on. There we go. Forwards, and then turn this all the way to off. Whilst it makes an awful noise. Right. Oh, and press circle. Beautiful. Right. So we can go to Harrow and Wealdstone now. We'll do that. Let me just quickly change this PIS board to say Queen's Park. I know this goes to Elephant and Castle, but it's going to Queen's Park today, so we'll put that on there so people know. Anyway, right. 10 mile an hour. Slow little jaunt into Harrow and Wealdstone. The timetable is quite tight on this, I do remember. I think it's a bit more lenient on the West Coast main line, so we'll see about that. Right, there we go. Full brakes. Beautiful stuff. Right, let's unlock the doors, because we've got minus 4 seconds. I was going to say 27 seconds, but no. Got minus 4 seconds to load some passengers, but that will be very quick. To be fair, a little tip with the Bakerloo Line, once the barber pole gets about halfway, you can start shutting the doors, because, well, they take about 5 seconds to shut. Right, let's go. Next stop is Kenton, so very thick and fast on this route. Today we'll be calling at Kenton, South Kenton, North Wembley, Wembley Central, Stonebridge Park, Harlesden, Willesden Junction, Kensal Green and Queen's Park. So around about 20 minutes on this before section, which I'll obviously cut down because that's just my editing style, but and then we'll jump into the after version in the West Coast main line. Beautiful. Right, so around the corner from Kenton, one thing to notice is that the frame rates on this route are pretty solid. Obviously, we've only got the 72 stock, and it's a shorter route. I think it's like 14 miles. So, you know, the West Coast main line being 50 miles long and having a lot more rolling stock on it is going to be a bit more power demanding, isn't it? But yeah, definitely smoother on this route. But that's what you get when you have one type of train. I can imagine if you jumped into West Coast main line in free row and no stock, it would run quite well as well. Right. Bit of minimum brake. We don't really need that, but a bit of minimum brake to get into Kenton here. Beautiful stuff. And let's put it into brake 1, well, the equivalent of brake 1, as we stop here at Kenton. I think that's going to be a decent stop, you know. Is that going to be good? Yeah, that's a good stop. Beautiful stuff. Right, so a couple of key things I want to spot here at Kenton is just look sort of like platform scenery and all that sort of good stuff to see whether it is the same like assets and stuff in the new route. I can imagine they are. I'll let you bugger off to South Kenton as we have a little look up here. Roundels, obviously got the roundels, PIS boards. Oh, hold on, PIS boards. There you go. I think they're a little bit different in the West Coast main line. I'm not too sure if these PIS boards have been carried across. And also station sort of signage and stuff like that looks all pretty much the same, doesn't it? So one little thing to notice at each station. Oh, there we go. Another good thing to notice is a 1972 stock going past us just south of Kenton. So hopefully, between Kenton and South Kenton, we'll see a 72 stock passing us. Or maybe even see a 710. You never know. I think the big thing to notice is going to be the TOD 4. Because TOD 4, this route looks completely different with different lighting. Obviously, you know, the West Coast main line feels like a whole new route. Well, it is a whole new route, but the Bakerloo Line section does feel completely different to me anyway. So it's definitely going to be quite cool to like compare the two in the lighting and whatever else, because it feels like, I feel like TOD 4 lighting brings these older routes to life a bit more, makes them seem a bit more realistic and a bit more, I don't know, lively and stuff. I feel like the older routes and the older lighting's a bit more dark and dingy and a bit dreary. So I don't know, that's just my opinion on it. Let's slow down for South Kenton. I keep wanting to call this Kenton, but it's not. It's South Kenton. Bit of an eager stop there, but it don't matter. It don't matter. Right, doors on the right hand side, because we've got not too long. We're late, so yeah. Come on, people, get on quickly. Cool, let's get the doors locked because we need to get going. We are very late here. Obviously, we're not really doing the full line service, but it don't matter. Anyway, right. North Wembley is next in 0.6 miles time. Go, trusty little 72 stock. It'd be interesting to see if there's any changes with the 72 stock as well. I don't imagine there will be. And here we go, here's North Wembley, right, so the brakes on these are pretty good, so you can probably put it into minimum brakes and it will stop just in time, which is what I quite like about the 72 stock. You know what I'm like, I'm a late breaker, so it's always good. If you put it into max, it should stop, right? I said minimum, but I lied to you. Put it into maximum, beautiful, right, cool, and stop. That's a solid stop, you know, beautiful. One thing I want to notice at this station is the grip bins. Are the grip bins still the same? It's a stupid little feature, right? Stupid little piece of scenery, but it'll kind of determine whether it's been sort of like carbon copied or, you know, whether the reference has been changed or whatever. You never know. There might have been some subtle changes and stuff like grip bins might have been removed. You never know. You never know. Anyway, Wembley is next, and obviously at Wembley, you know what I want to see. I want to look at the stadium. So go, 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 go. I find it quite astonishing how small the 72 stock is. Like, one thing I think we're going to notice is how small it is compared to like the 710 and stuff. It's a right little tiny thing, isn't it? Here we go. Right, this is the approach into Wembley Central. Interestingly, I want to see whether there's any differences scenery-wise, because I don't know why after doing a few 350 runs, I feel like this all looks different. Or unless it feels different, I don't know. That's the weird thing about it. Like, these routes, they look the exact same between like the old version and the new version, but the lighting just makes things a bit more noticeable, makes scenery look a bit better, and obviously shadows from buildings and stuff look different. Anyway, here's Wembley Central. We'll have a little fly around Wembley Central in the after version as well to see if it's all pretty much the same, but I can imagine it is. And obviously we've got Wembley Stadium down there in the distance, which seems a little bit further away than what it is now, but it'd be cool to spot that. And obviously we've got all these sidings and stuff here which are full of stock in the West Coast Main Line. Right, let's go. Stonebridge Park is next, and one thing I want to look at Stonebridge Park is the depot, because obviously the depot is fully modelled in the West Coast Main Line, but has different bits and bobs of stock in it. So one thing I do want to notice is the differences, really. It's quite weird because the West Coast Main Line, obviously the map is relatively similar to this, but obviously other than the southern section. But it's quite cool that it's all two-line on the map. But I think someone did discover in the editor that it does show the whole West Coast Main Line tracks, so definitely quite cool. But yeah, I want to have a look at the depot and in and around like the sidings and stuff, because there's different bits and bobs hidden in the sidings in the new version. And here we go, we're approaching Stonebridge Park. Let's have a little look at the depot, because I want to see if there's any new stock there and if anything else is accessible. I think, if I'm right, I might be wrong, but I think this is accessible now, or at least it's open. I don't know. Is it open? No idea. One of them's open. There's something accessible in the new version. Obviously got the wonderful stadium in the distance there, so it'd be cool to spot that. Also we've got some distant scenery. Wonder if the distant scenery will look different. Anyway, we need to slow down for Stonebridge Park, because we're going way too quick. We're going way too fast. Stop. Ah, no, panic. Okay, well that wasn't successful. We may still stop there because the brakes are good, but it might just fail on us. It will fail on us. Will it? Only just. Ah, no. Anyway, right. I will stop there properly in the after version, don't worry. Next stop is Willesden. Here we go. This is another thing I want to look at in the after version, is obviously all the scenery here, because I think this is all where the 390s would start. I think, is this Willesden TMD? Something like that? I'm not too sure. Right, here we go. We're approaching Willesden now. Is that how you say that? Willesden or Willesden? I have no idea. I'm guessing it's Willesden. Kind of makes sense. Right, let's slow down. Put it into normal. That's a nice braking. That's a nice bit of braking there. And I think this station's had a bit of an upgrade. I don't know if it's just me. I'm talking very hypothetically here. Like, I have seen the after version quite a lot, but it's sort of like you don't really notice it until you see it. So let's stop. While we're rolling, stop. Here we go, Willesden. One thing I do want to keep an eye out for is like route map collectibles, because I think they're different on the Bakerloo line to what they are in the West Coast Main Line. So yeah, as I was just mentioning, I do want to have a little look around here to see what it looks like, because I can imagine it's going to look a lot different. And it's also, I think we'll be able to get over there, because at the minute I'm stuck on an invisible wall, so we can't actually get across there because it's all part of the route. Cool. Right, let's lock the doors, and the next stop is it Willesden Junction? I would imagine it is. Yeah, there you go, Willesden Junction, where I think some of the 710 should terminate, but I don't think they do just yet. Right, let's slow down for Willesden Junction as we're going a bit too quick. I do recall seeing that I think even that's been remodelled, that sort of track up there. I don't know where it goes, but I can imagine that's all been remodelled. Right, we need to slow down because we've got a red light at the end of the platform, which is not good. We don't want a spad. We've already had an overshoot, we don't want a spad. So yeah, here we go, Willesden Junction. I want to have a little look around this station as well, because I think it might have been slightly remodelled, or like some of the scenery's changed, because I think it's technically an overground station. One thing I do want to have a look at is whether there's anything going on here. Whether there's any changes, whether that's gone, that shouldn't be there. I'm hoping they've remodeled bits and bobs up here as well, because I think the overground would go up here at some point. Cool, let's go. Next stop is Kensal Green in just under a mile's time, so let's go. Full throttle, full throttle. We're up to 30 mile an hour. One thing will be interesting to see is any speed restrictions and stuff have changed, because obviously we're 30 out of Wealdstone Junction, so I wonder if that stays the same in the new version. Because I know that obviously referencing between doing this route and doing the West Coast Main Line might have changed, and they might have been like, oh, hold on a second, it's actually 45 coming out of Willesden, so it'd be cool to notice that. Obviously we've got another line going off that way, so we'll see if there's anything changed there. And also another key thing to look at, again, some more sidings and stuff around here. I think there's some static stock in places, so it'd be cool to spot that and see if there is anything there. Cool, and here we go, we're approaching into Kensal Green. Let's put the brakes onto normal, because we've got a yellow at the end of the platform. It don't matter. Right, we're not going to be spadding anytime soon at this station. Not today. Right, let's slow down. Beautiful. I think that's a decent stop. That's a very good stop, actually. I'm proud of that. Very happy with that indeed. Cool. Right, so this is Kensal Green. Again, some bits and bobs. I want to have a little look around here, see if there's any changes, any differences. If the tunnel looks different, it'd be cool to have a little look. Maybe even differences to like the overhead line equipment. But I imagine it would be all the like TSW5 version where it's all thicker and stuff. Right, let's go on to Queen's Park, our final station for this video. Well, this portion of the video anyway. So we'll jump into the after version, West Coast Main Line, and go from Harrow back down to Queen's Park. Or should I start at Queen's Park? No, I'll start at Harrow and go back down towards Queen's Park. I feel like that makes the most sense. But yeah, do you know what? I think final thoughts on the before section. It looks good, but it looks very much TSW2. Do you know what I mean? So like, I'm glad that they've gone through and redone all this, and we'll be able to see sort of like an upgraded, remastered version of the Bakerloo Line in the West Coast Main Line. I'm very much looking forward to comparing the two, just to see how it is. And also, you know, after playing the West Coast Main Line for a couple of days, it's so weird not seeing the 390s and the 350s and stuff on the route. Obviously, if you do a Bakerloo Line run on that route now, you're being overtaken by all sorts of stuff, which is completely, you know, it's so weird to not have that now. Right, let's get ourselves down to 15 mile an hour as we've got another 72 stock leaving there. Beautiful stuff. So that'll be good to see. We've seen a couple of 72 stocks, so it'll be good to like, compare the timetables and see what sort of stuff we see on the Bakerloo Line compared to what we see on the West Coast Main Line. So down to 15, and let's have a little look at the this sort of like, is it a siding? Is it a yard? Is it a depot? I'm not too sure what you'd call it. But this canopy looking thing, let's see if there's any differences to this too. I can imagine there might be. We'll see. And also, if we see any 710s going down the left hand side, which I didn't realise they did, but they do. And here we go, we're on the approach to Queen's Park. Lovely stuff. Right, a gentle smooth stop into Queen's Park, and yeah, I think it's been a good little before section, but I'm very much looking forward to seeing what it looks like afterwards. Let's get stopped at the end of the platform preferably, because that'll be good. Cool. Right, beautiful. And we'll stop about there, I think. That'll do. Cool. Right, beautiful. So last thing I want to look at in the comparison is the differences between the Queen's Park in this version and the after version, because obviously we've got all sorts of modelling down here as well. And also maybe another thing is looking at distant scenery from this point, because I think you would see quite a lot more down that way. You'd probably see a bit more of the London skyline, and also there's some different buildings down this side. So yeah, cool little thing to spot in the after version. Anyway, right, I'm going to leave that before section here and jump into the West Coast Main Line and do a same or similar run in on that route. So yeah, I'll see you in the West Coast Main Line. And here we go, we're in the West Coast Main Line a few days later, and don't it look beautiful? We've got a 350 coming in there, and I think we've got a 350 leaving as well. Beautiful. So there you go. One difference straight away is we've got 350s, and the station here looks so much nicer, and obviously the lighting as well. Oh, it looks beautiful. Anyway, right, let's drive this down to Elephant and Castle, no, sorry, Queen's Park, and have a look at the route afterwards. Cool, right, so I couldn't jump into the exact same service, but relatively same time. So let's get ourselves set up, let's put that in. Cool, and then we need to put this into forwards. Lovely. Cool, right, let's go. Get into Harrow and Wealdstone. Cool, right, so as we arrive into Harrow and Willesden, one big difference is, well, purely the lighting, but obviously the fact the station's a lot more accessible. The fact that you can, you know, easily get across to the LNWR platforms. Right, stop there, go on, stop. Yeah, decent enough stuff, right, yeah. So another difference here is obviously we can get through to this platform, well, these few platforms, and they look a lot better. Right, let's get the doors locked, because we need to go. And here we go, got another 72 stock coming the other way. So another after thing that we'll notice is the fact that we've got 710s about, which is, you know, we obviously didn't have the suffragette line when the Bakerloo line came out, so that's one key after sort of thing. Anyway, right, 1 mile to Kenton. Let's go, let's go. I mean, the track shadows and all that sort of good stuff looks so much better here, and even the lighting looks incredible. Look at this, it looks absolutely stunning. I do like Todd 4 lighting. I think it definitely improves existing routes. You know, any routes that have been upgraded, you know, Cathcart Circle, I'm trying to think of some other ones, Sherman Hill, Boston Sprinter, you know, they all look incredible now, and this lighting it's good, it's very good. Oh yeah, got a 377 going past, so a lovely bit of AI there. So it's really nice that, you know, in the after version, obviously in the West Coast mainline route, we've got all the mainline traffic. We've got, you know, not just the freight. Obviously, if you jump into the 2021 timetable, I think it is for Bakerloo Line, you will see some freight going past, but you know, that's all you see AI wise. So obviously the 72 stock, so it's so nice to be going along in the 72 stock and having the 377s, the 350s, the 390s. It's really nice. And this is Kenton. Right, let's slow ourselves down, bit of minimum brakes. I think that should be absolutely fine, right? Yeah, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Right, let's have a little look at Kenton. I don't think there's going to be all too much different here, like I mentioned. But yeah, one thing I did want to notice is the sort of, you know, station scenery, let's say. We do have these sorts of maps here, which I haven't collected yet, but yeah. So obviously the original Bakerloo Line ones are not here, which is a shame, really. But yeah, anyway, let's go to South Kenton. We need to get going. Come on, full throttle. So the sounds of the 72 stock aren't that different. I think they're pretty much the same. So I mean, it still looks pretty decent. Here we go, approaching into South Kenton now, and it just looks absolutely stunning. I'm a fan of this. I much prefer this version than I do the original Bakerloo Line. Sure, it's a bit sad that we can't go underground and into the tunnels, but you know, if you want to do that, do the Bakerloo Line, you know, the actual route, and go underground there, because you know you won't really see the effects of the Todd 4 and stuff like that. I mean, if you want to be technical, you can actually get into the underground platforms. You can actually get into Kilburn Park, Kilburn High Road, something like that. Kilburn Park, yeah, you can get into there. I wouldn't recommend it. It's a bit of a spooky experience. I didn't mean to lock my doors there. Right, let me unlock the doors again, because I didn't mean to do that. Right, this is a really nice station for train spotting actually, because you can see for miles. So, you know, if anything's coming along, you can definitely get a few snaps of it. I've not done the PIS. That is not good. Hold on, let's get going so that we're not late. Go on, and then put that into... we're going to Queen's Park, right? That's where we're going. Right, here we go. We're on route to North Wembley now. It looks... oh, I can't quite get over how good this looks now. Like, it looks like a whole different route. Like, comparing it to what we were just driving in the original Bakerloo Line and driving this, it feels like a completely different route. It's so weird. It's kind of strange because it's like... it's a route that I know, that I've obviously played quite a lot of, so I know where the stations are and stuff like that. It's a bit similar with Cathcart. I knew where the stations were, and then once it got updated, it was really weird because it was like it was a whole different route, and I feel like I had to learn the route again, if you know what I mean. But in your mind, you're like, well, I know where I'm stopping here, so I don't know, weird. Anyway, right, let's stop there. Lovely jubbly. This is North Wembley, and I mean, all the station signs and stuff are quite nice. They still look pretty much the same. I can imagine they wouldn't have changed them. There wouldn't have been a need to. Let's go. Right. Cool. Right. Next up is Wembley Central, and on the approach to Wembley Central now. So let's get a little bit of braking. Just a tad, just a little bit. Want to see if it's a little bit different in here, because again, it's a sort of thing where, same with Harrow, where you couldn't get across to the other platform, so they weren't really detailed that much. They were kind of like blank canvases. So it'll be interesting to see if there's any differences here. I think it's only the 377 that stop here, other than the 72 and the 710. So I don't think the 350s stop here, and the 390s definitely don't. We've stopped a bit too prematurely there, as we've got something going through on another... is that a 350? Yeah, looks like a 350 to me. Right, that'll do. Let's put the brakes in there. Cool. Interestingly, we've got a different type of collectible. So we probably won't go and get that. But obviously, an after thing is because it's a different route. We've got different collectibles. This is a robot of some kind. So another thing I wanted to look at was Wembley Stadium on the horizon. As we can see, it's beautiful. Look at that. Wonderful stuff. I think it's stayed pretty much the same as what it was in the Bakerloo Line. I don't think there's any differences there. It looks like it's a little bit further away, to be honest. That could just be my eyes. Anyway, right, let's go. Let's go to Stonebridge Park, where we go under the West Coast Main Line. Whilst we do that, I want to have a little fly around here. Because obviously another thing we can do is go up these stairs. We couldn't really do that last time, so these stairs look very nice. And we've also got some stuff going on here which we didn't have before as well. Oh, now that is cool. That is super cool, seeing a Pendolino go across there. So that's obviously a big thing comparing the Bakerloo Line to this, is obviously the stock, like the 390s and 350s and stuff, we obviously don't have in the Bakerloo Line. So when you're on the Bakerloo Line in the 72 stock and you're going under the West Coast Main Line, you are being literally overtaken by Pendolinos above you, so super cool little thing. Another thing I want to check is all the different sidings and stuff, like I mentioned before, and see if we've got any stock in there, which I think we will. We'll have a fair few things, and obviously fences and all that sort of good stuff. Right, we're coming into Stonebridge Park now, and I don't remember there being this fence here. I don't know if it's just me, but this sort of yard looks a bit more detailed than what it did before. It's been about 2 or 3 days since I recorded the first part, so I've kind of forgotten what I looked at. But yeah, I can definitely see if they've upgraded it. It's you know, it's got some nice scenery, and obviously got 710s and stuff in there too. So we've got a lot more stock in there, which I don't think we had before. So this is Stonebridge Park. Doesn't look too much different to what it did beforehand. Obviously with a few different changes to station signage and adverts and all that sort of good stuff. Obviously a key thing was when we looked over this way, it was kind of a bit blank because there wasn't really much going on, but obviously we've got the 710s over there, got some freight and stuff like that. It just looks a lot nicer. Obviously the lighting helps with that. You know, this road I think is pretty much the same, but like I say, the Todd 4 just really makes it look so much nicer. Let's get going. And I mean, the key thing to take away from this is that this after version, the West Coast Main Line and the sort of revamped Bakerloo Line, is so much nicer. Right, so as we approach Harlesden with our 72 stock going off in the distance, one thing I did want to have a look at was this here, and I think they have put some fences up. There wasn't fences before. Obviously there's a few gaps where the stock needs to come out of the warehouse, or whatever you want to call it, depot. But I think this has all been remodeled by the looks of things. It definitely looks a lot better than what it did. We need to slow down because we are approaching Harlesden. Slow down. Did I skip Harlesden before? I think I did. I'm not very good at this one. Oh dear me. Oh dear. Oh well. Okay. Whoops. And we're probably not going to stop at Harlesden either. It's probably going to be a terrible overshoot. Are you going to stop? Yeah. Just a bit of an overshoot. It's fine. Right, let's get the doors locked and let's forget about that stop, okay? Let's forget about Harlesden, it doesn't matter. Right, let's go. Let's go. Willesden Junction is next, where I want to have a little look at the above, you know, the upper level platforms and have a look if there's anything changed there. Right, and here we go. We're approaching Willesden Junction, so let's get some brakes in here. Want to notice a couple of differences. That looks a bit better going off up there. Interestingly, I've just spotted there, and there as well, the roundels are different. Obviously they're underground roundels here, aren't they? Yeah, they're blatantly underground roundels. So they've upgraded this to be, you know, sort of an overground station, which I think it is. Obviously we would often see the 710s terminate here, but that's not reflected in the timetable. Let's have a little look at the PIS. It looks a little bit different to what it did beforehand. It's a little bit bright there, isn't it? There we go, that's a bit better. So it's the sort of standard PIS, which is fine. It tells us what we need to be told. But obviously, London Underground PIS is a little bit different. Yeah, so these have all got orange signage as well, which beforehand wasn't like that. I think it was all red. Oh yeah, let's get a little above bird's eye sort of shot of the 72 stock. Ah, look at that. That's quite cool, actually. Oh, there you go. Another thing to notice there is the fact we've got a 710 in the sidings and in the depot. Got stuff going on up there as well. Very cool, very nice. Another cool thing is to look at the map, because obviously beforehand the map just shows you, well, literally two parallel lines and then going underground. So, you know, you can see a lot more what's going on, a lot of stock, and you can see obviously where the Bakerloo Line goes, but you can see everything else on the line, which is very, very nice. And as we emerge from the tunnel, let's brake for Kensal Green, our penultimate stop on this video. And I tell you what, it looks so much nicer. You know, people have been asking for this to be remastered, and well, technically it has been. So here you go. Right, so Kensal Green. Anything different here? Not too much. Obviously, you can see the roundels are a different colour to where they were before. They were orange before at Wealdstone Junction, so one thing to definitely notice there. And obviously, another map I've not collected. Shame on me. And I wanted to say as well about these lines here. These definitely look a lot more, you know, a lot more detailed, a lot more going on around here. I think the foliage has been updated, I'm guessing. Is that the term? Possibly. It looks like it anyway. Oh, we've got a 350 going past there. Lovely stuff. That's the one thing I can't quite get over, is the fact that we've obviously got the 350s and the 390s on this line as we're on the Bakerloo line. It makes it feel so much more lifelike. Anyway, right. Our next and final stop is Queen's Park. So let's get going. And yeah, I've enjoyed looking at this in the before versus after. It kind of does point out to you how much work has gone into revitalising the Bakerloo line, and well, then providing us with the whole West Coast Main Line. Well, not the whole, but you know, part of the West Coast Main Line. Anyway, 0.8 miles to Queen's Park, and yeah, I've really enjoyed looking at this. Right, let's get down to 15 mile an hour because we're not going that way towards the overground stops. Well, there we go, got another 72 stock going past there. I've slowed down a bit too much there, come on. And here we go, we're on the approach to Queen's Park. Lovely stuff, and it looks so much more detailed around here. I don't know if it's just me, but it feels a lot more realistic around here. I don't know, it might just be the lighting, I'm not sure. Anyway, right, let's get to the end of Queen's Park. And yeah, we'll have a little fly around here and see if we can spot any differences. Cool, right, let's get some brakes in. Bit of minimum brake, that should be absolutely fine. That'll do. We've undershot a little bit there, but I'd rather undershoot than overshoot. Cool, right. So this is Queen's Park. One thing to definitely notice about Queen's Park, as we've got another 350 in the background there, is the fact that in Bakerloo Line, I didn't realise there was a platform here. So the fact that it's kind of a bit more obvious there's a platform here is nice. Of course, modelling wise and distance scenery and stuff, we've got a lot more going on up here, and we've obviously got some stuff going on down there too. So yeah, very much improved, let's say. So yeah, there we go. That was a look at the Bakerloo line before versus after. What do you think? Do you think it's been improved? Let me know in the comments. As for my final thoughts on this, obviously the after version, albeit we can't go underground in this version, but afterwards it's massively improved. You know, just the fact that we're being overtaken by 350s and 390s and all that sort of good stuff really makes the experience so much nicer, so much more realistic. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please make sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you're new. I'd massively appreciate it. So thank you very much for watching. I'll hopefully see you all in the next video. Bye bye.